Greetings gentlemen, I'm Chevalier and a big welcome to the patch analysis for the 1.8 patch, the Rights of Man DLC, and basically the third for it, the Prussian patch, or the Prussian expansion, not expansion, the Prussian patch, there you go, Prussian. Really, it was quite simple Prussian patch. In the background, you're hearing the sound for the soundtrack from the Crusader Kings 2. Which is quite good, although it's only the standard soundtrack, not the full soundtrack that encompasses the DLC as well. Unfortunately, Paradox doesn't actually have it on their channel, so I don't have it myself as well. Although I could actually run the game and play some Rust Nation, and actually run in the background the music. But yeah, it's available on YouTube. And Paradox, if you're listening to this, please upload the rest as well in a file, like everything up from top to bottom with nice annotations. It really go a long way for me to actually listen to them at work whenever at the desk, to just put out the headsets and just listen to music. Now, sorry about the rant. I know I rant a lot, but let's go into the patch analysis. It's I would say decently extensive. As you can see, there are plenty. I don't know how many lines there are. This is not Excel, so I won't actually know, but we'll only go for the most important one. And for example, the eye stuff, we're not gonna over them. So let's go for the expansion features. It will be the Rise of Man expansion. So now, rulers now develop personalities when they become adult. Personalities are also gained after 10 and 20 years on the throne. So basically, great, more CK2 stuff, personalities and traits. Not too much to say about here. An old monarch can now voluntarily abdicate in favor of another heir. Perfect. It's actually extremely perfect. You can now develop your subjects' provinces, which will decrease the liberty desire. Again, excellent as well. Excellent when you have problems, but not that great in let's say the mana points part. Simply because you're gonna lose. You're gonna pay points to increase, and you're gonna have to pay points to annex. So you're gonna pay twice for that point. One to pull it up, one to take it down. Alright. It's not that great, but again, it's doable. It's an option that we have, so it's good as well. Monarchs now have the obituaries and death reasons listed when they die, which is we do not actually care. Although it's actually, let's see if he dies in combat or something like that, but it's not that important. Great power added, great powers added. It's a nice mechanic that will allow you to basically bigger nations, the biggest nation in the world that don't have actual rivals, basically to have more points. Again, if you're England and you conquered everything, you might not have a rival, so you're gonna get less points, etc. Again, although I thought that it was quite good that it was right now, simply because when you're really big, you'll have a loss in power, you'll have loss in army tradition, loss in points because you don't have PP. You don't have PP, power projection. So yeah, that was good as well. But it was good because it will take down your empire notch basically. But yeah, this is good as well. It's a Wiki 2 mechanic. Not much to say about here. Victoria 2 is, I think, one of the best games I played in all my life. But they are doing a Wiki 3, so they are Hearts of Fire 4 instead of a Wiki 3. Or a Rome 2, like a not Total War, not that shitty game, not Total War. Europa Universalis Rome, basically, too. That have been great as well. So again, sorry for the rant. You can now construct buildings in your subjects provinces. It's decent, you can actually inherit them, although the amortizations for them is not going to happen instantly when they get built, so it's not that great. It's doable, but not that doable, to be honest. It's better for you to build in your own provinces. To take on the foreign debt, foreign debt diplomatic action for great powers that enables you to pay off debts of a lesser nation for a significant opinion boost. This is good as well. Some of your, let's say, vassals, allies, anything of this sort, they will actually get into trouble, and you might want to call them into a war, but they have debts, so you can actually pay it off. Again, quite good. The influence nation diplomatic action for great powers is to enable you to say the opinion of and provide +1 more power boost to a lesser nation. in a category that where it has the least power gain, this is excellent as well. So there's not much to say. We can actually increase power boost with I don't know, HRE state that you actually increase, for example, or a vassal, anything of this sort, an ally. It's really good. Debasing your currency, it provides your cash corresponding level as a bank loan, but it increases corruption by 2%. So basically, you take cash, but you have to pay it to lower the corruption. So again, double edge. Corruption, it's empire-wide, it's nationwide, so it doesn't matter. Add the ledger, so add console commands, intervene in war. For diplomatic action allows it for great power to join on imbalanced wars on the weaker side. This is quite great. Again, Wiki 2 stuff. I know, Victoria 2. They actually allow us to basically intervene. For example, somebody wants to kill an OPM, and he wants to get hold of, let's say, Poland wants to kill off the Templar, and you don't want them to kill off the Templar, you can intervene as Austria, for example. Anything of this sort. As a great power, you can now demand that a country break one of their alliances. If they feel you're enough to accept that treaties will be annulled between the involved countries, this will worsen the relations between you and the involved countries and cause a truce between you and the target. This is, again, excellent, because you might have, let's say, France allied with Navarra. No. Let's say I don't know, France allied with Brittany and Provence. No, sorry, Navarra allied with Brittany and Provence. And you want them to just not have the alliance with, let's say, Brittany. They don't have to have problems on that side. So you can just make sure that they kill on with their alliances, then you can actually take them over faster when that happens. Or they have, let's say, Scotland has an alliance with France, and you want to tell France to fuck off. You can just take this option here. Again, it depends on the actual military size. It depends on the calculation, of course. I'm sure that it will not allow you to just break an alliance if they feel threatened. Basically, you have to have a superior number of troops so that you can break that alliance. Remember that this is not actually that great sometimes, especially in HRE. If you actually want to attack, let's say, an OPM in the HRE, and you're really big, they might actually just get an alliance with somebody else, and will just invalidate. You'll just get a truce for nothing. So remember this. They might have another valid ally that they can get. Can now upgrade fleets in the subject provinces. Decent as well. Either can now have traits. After a battle, is a chance that the commanding officer of the east side gain a trait. The chance is based on the army navy tradition gained in a battle. All the traits are positive and affect compatibilities, etc. You know, decent stuff. Again, traits like in CK2, quite good. Country is now following the fetishist religion. Can now select the cult to worship. Cults can be chosen every new ruler. Additional cults can be unlocked through fighting with other religious groups and friendly relations with hidden neighbors. Again, added the religion option as fetishist. I want the one for Orthodox because I'm Romanian and I'm Orthodox, but again, they do some modifiers for Orthodox as well, but the slider stuff for the Orthodox is really annoying, simply because it's gonna take you, what, 20 slides up and down, and you have an event, what, every 10 years, and you can do it from the... Again, let's stop the rant. Let's just stop the rant. Sorry, again, I'm sorry, I tend to rant a lot. Daimios and Ottoman government will always maintain their dynasty. New rulers and heirs will be the original dynasty unless a union is formed, so nothing more to say here. Ottoman government, it's standard stuff for this as well, so there's gonna be the same dynasty, it'll be a correct dynasty. Revolutionary republics now have their own factions. Gear on this will attempt to spread the revolution abroad. Royalists will try to create a revolutionary empire, and Jacobins will support the realization of the revolutionary ideas internally. So again, this is like in real life for revolutionary republics, like the France Revolutionary Republic. Now, you can peacefully abandon a personal union with a lesser partner. This will cost you 25 prestige and add a truce for 5 years. And the opinion penalty with the liberty desire from -200 to plus to 0 for 0% to 100. So again, this is quite good. It will allow you to actually kill small alliances. PUs small PUs that you have basically that are annoying. For example, Austria have a PU over a HRE miner, so you just want to kill that because you don't want that PU. So that is doable as well. Can now set lure personalities and heirs in the nation designer. Again, quite actually it's what the fuck did I do? It's actually there you go. Pretty standard stuff here, nothing much to say. You can pay off subjects debt like you see here, so you get it like the one for great power, so you can pay your subjects debt as well, not debt. You can now strengthen your government for military power. You gain legitimacy, republican tradition, devotion, or homogeneity. This is good because you have one more way to spend your military power. Usually, when you're big and you're ahead of tech or ahead of time on military tech, you might actually want to use this to boost your stuff, so it's quite good. Now, Prussia monarchy is a new government form. Perfect, really perfect. I really like this. With the following special mechanics, where the military rating of monarch can never go below 3, and determining how militarized the state is. Militarization of society impacts several military abilities positively. So, again, quite good. I'm gonna do a campaign as the Teutons, basically. In the chair, fucking chair. It's screeching. So, I'm gonna do a campaign as the Templars, and from Prussia, I also have a backstory for it. It's quite good. I'll do it as soon as possible. Right now, I just took the patch notes from the Paradox forums, and I'm just waiting to get some more episodes on the United Empire, the United Tribes of North America, basically. I'll get some more episodes on those, and I can actually upgrade because the upgrade of the version is gonna kill my saves, so I have to abandon it. Now, leader traits and rural personalities are shown in the military leaders, blah blah blah. It's ledger stuff, not that important. You can now spend military power to increase militarization of society in Prussian monarchy. Again, for this, stats command, I don't care. Free features. Created a new technology system using institutions. This is again quite good with no more standardization or directly differing technology groups. So this is quite good. So this basically allows you to have the same advantage as the Europeans in the early game, and as time passes, the institutions will get born in Europe, and they'll just spread out from province to province. I don't know at what rate, but again, this is good for you in the early game because you'll be able to gain a couple of techs faster depending on when the first institution takes hold. It should be quite early, to be honest, because the first one should be Renaissance thought or something around that point in Italy. So yeah, or any high development provinces. You can actually see it in the game screen, I think, or in the wiki as well, on the dev diaries. Again, going on to the dev stuff is really important. The dev, not dev, to go into the wiki and read stuff for actual mechanics is really important. I'll try to do as many videos on mechanics as possible, but it will take time, depending on how is the work stage, the work schedule that I have, as well as college. So between college, work, and YouTube, I can barely breathe. But that's my problem, not yours. New culture acceptance mechanics, where you can decide which cultures you want to accept in your nation, and which should be your primary culture. Again, nice stuff for culture. You're not gonna be in the blind and see, oh, is this gonna be accepted? Will this be accepted? You'll be able to switch between them if you have problems. For example, for let's say what's it called? Actually, no. A culture can be accepted if it's not your own religion. No, it can be accepted, but yeah. So you can actually get what you can get: coin creation time reduced, and you can get more cash, more military, and you can actually switch religion faster on those provinces as well. Added the braindead player AI for multiplayer, which is quite good. Display minimap. Minimap displays friendly player and enemy units. This is quite decent. Added the embrace cheat. It doesn't matter. Console commands. add government view to show more detailed info about the different culture and acceptance of them in your state. When in an association where the attacker cannot demand cancel subject on the country in the question as part of the war goal. Again, this is good. I don't know if I actually talked about this earlier on when you can actually cancel, but if the CB is right with the succession war CB, you shouldn't be able to take lands, so you should only be able to do this. The problem is that they might actually decide to they might decide that they want cash as well, so it depends on if you want to actually give away the PU over that nation. So simply lose the war and give the PU away because you don't want it. We'll have to see in an actual situation because it's going to be hard to get the right situation with the cheat commands. More console commands, console commands. As a leader of a trade league, you can now create a trading city from one of your provinces. Requires the Mare Nostrum DLC. This new nation will have a trading city, republic government, and automatically join your trade league. This is very good. You'll always have a defending a defensive ally. Basically, he's gonna be OPM, of course, but as time goes, this OPM is actually gonna build up his nation, so you can actually maybe attack him and take your land back when he actually increases the development of the nation to 200 or 14 out of 100. It's gonna take him quite a while to increase it to 200, but he's gonna get it up to 40. To be honest, I had in the Irish campaign, Kildare actually had a development of like 10 or something like that, and by the time I actually ended the campaign, Kildare had I don't know, 22. Like when I actually conquered him, like he doubled his development. I mean, it was quite funny to see that. It usually happens in HRE when every small guy actually increases his development, so every OPM gets his development up, and when you actually inherit the empire, it's gonna be huge. Like you're gonna have tons of development to the point where you're gonna have provinces that are you're gonna see your Austria, and you have the capital of Vienna with like somewhere around 28 development, and you're gonna have Friesland with 45 or 60 or whatever, depending on when you actually annexed the empire. So yeah, it's gonna be really stupid, to be honest, but it's quite cool. Added dialogue for crashes, we don't care. Check boss for disconnects in multiplayer. Console command, nothing more here. On-game balance. Democracies, especially the Papal State, have an increased alliance acceptance penalty towards the different religions now. So Turco-Papal diplomacy has hit an all-time low, right? So that won't be actually allies. There is now a scale penalty to liberty desire, up to 25% at max mercantilism. Okay, this is quite good if you want to actually boost mercantilism. They did multiple changes to this. Or did they? I can't remember. I know they changed some stuff last patch as well, and they changed it now. Oh, of it again, like a little kid. I guess I'll play around. So again, multiple stuff to mercantilism, so that it won't be that OP. From my information, it gives you only provincial trade power. It's decent, I guess. Usually, you might not want to actually go for a trade empire and focus on trade. You might actually want to have troops as well. So yeah, it depends on the situation. It's always good to have, but if you have tons of colonies, you might actually want to tone it down on mercantilism, as I don't know, Castile, England, France, whoever wants to go for the New World. Now, vassals fighting each other in Japan now only accepting force peace requests of Overlord, but all vassals except the defending peace target get a plus 10 liberty desire. So this is available if you actually want to curb stomp the expansion of some daimos, basically, or any other vassals. It's just in Japan. Oh yeah, it's possible if you actually have what's it called? Yes, I also say vassals in India, like England. I think you get in India, you get that type of vassal, not the vassal, but you get the protectorate. There you go. You get a protectorate, so you can stop them from fighting themselves. Threshold fees give the same inflation per gold as gold mines. Again, this is going to be quite problematic since this was installed. It's going to be quite problematic to get gold from the New World. Although you get gold, you're going to suffer the inflation as well, so you need some tax or some permanent guy there to lower it. There should be an option here to actually to do not kill the treasure fleets or keep the treasure fleets, send them to the colonies, basically, so that you're gonna get I don't know, less liberty desire or something like that, which is gonna be good as well. It's gonna be good if you actually have that option. Trade companies now are open to all technology groups. Again, this is decent, I would say. It was bound to happen at some point, especially with a new way to have technologies, because the technologies were only available to Western nations, and that was problematic simply because it's not problematic now because you don't have a tag to actually stop them from having a trade company. I guess you can stop them by institution, but yeah, you could stop them by institutions, to be honest, and it should be done to stop them by the institution that they have, simply because you do need a tag to have trade companies. This is not quite right, but sure, it's your choice. Natives reforming now get all institutions of the target they reform from. So basically instant reformation for the natives, which is quite good. Plutocracy is now 10% faster institution spread in your country instead of the 5% cheaper tech. Quite decent. Although I guess it's good if you actually have, let's say, different country in a different place other than Europe, basically. That was gonna be quite well. Scientific revolution now gives 10% improvement cost as well. Add a lot of logical places where provinces and country status impact institution speed. A lot of logical places where, oh, right, so increase the institution speed spread in some provinces. Basically, I guess high-level provinces, high-level development provinces, or centers of trade, etc., something like that, that will give them more impact institution spread. Institution penalty slowly ticks up by 1% per year after discovery. Wait, this, I'm not sure on this. It might simply be that they slowly tick up, but I don't know how they're represented in the game. I actually have to check this shit out, to be honest. Yeah, so they tick up if you don't have them. I think it's some sort of modifier that gives you some sort of percentage that gives you some bad modifiers, perhaps, or increasing tech. Because 1% per year is too slow to actually get extra tech cost. It's not gonna slow them enough, like they used to slow them in the with the previous stuff. So there must be some penalty. There's some bad modifier that you get. Spy network bonuses will now apply to the target subjects as well. Decent stuff. Modifiers for various difficulty should never be worse than those for easy difficulty. Should never be worse than they were. Actually, I never play on easy and very easy, so I have no fucking idea. You can no longer move your capital to a continent that has less than a third of your total provinces, unless your capital is the less province you own on its continent. So you actually just move. Oh, it's not possible for you to, let's say, from Asia to Europe, basically. Although Europe has tons of provinces, so it's not about the landmass; it's about total provinces. So we'll have to see actually. Oh, let's say to Africa, to Australia, perhaps. It depends. Although to most of Australia, you usually make a colonial nation there, so. Subjects now have land and naval access to other subjects. Okay, Eastern European starting development. Eastern European starting development reduced. Okay, that is bullshit. I'm from East Europe. You killed my development. Man, this is bullshit. This is bullshit, man. It's better now that France is OPS shit, and England cannot be dislodged from Europe because of their English-Austrian alliance. And now you get lower development. Russian state development reduced and distributed to Manchuria and Mongolia. Well, I guess it's decent, I would say. Lithuania now only have +3 tolerance of heretics at a +4, so balance there. Lucky nations are now down to 8. Sorry, Poland, Brandenburg and Sweden. Again, this will make Muscovy quite OP, to be honest. Like, usually Muscovy wins every time, and they should form Russia quite, although they cannot fight Poland and Lithuania together, so yeah. I guess it's a decent modification. Same goes for Sweden. But yeah, Sweden in this previous patch just doesn't break away from Denmark. Like, I played so many campaigns in the previous patch, and Sweden just doesn't break away from Denmark. They just stay there and get annexed. We'll see. Sanction Commercial Monopoly costs 50 PI instead of 100. Defender of Fey now gives you +10 opinion with all with that religion, so it's good. OPM natives can now migrate over one season as well. This is great, especially for basically for the guys on what's it called? The natives from the Northern Americans can actually have a vassal and start migrating down to what's it called? To Florida, and from Florida to move over to Caribbeans, slowly move away from to what's it called, to Tortuga, move down to Tortuga and to Cuba, to St. Martin, and just get closer to westernization. Although it's gonna be a little bit difficult, you'll have to lower your stability to some degree. Yeah, it's difficult, but if you actually feed your own vassal to no CB wars against targets and have your armies in your vassal territories, and you just move your capital from one place to another, it's doable. It's doable. You can actually abuse this to some degree. To some degree, you can actually abuse this to just get the Western tech faster. But again, the position of the Northern American tribes is really bad. I rather just play with the Incas, with Cusco. So what was I? Yeah. Kings lost their tolerance for heretics, but can now instead do slave raids. I think this was a community choice for knights. Institutional penalties can all take up to 50%. That's institution, mates, not institution. Yeah. Minor typo there. Overhauled Lucky Nation bonuses. Okay, so I hope they get nerfed, to be honest, because they're really OP as shit. So I hope they get nerfed. Primitive status is now tied to starting tech groups. Either still tech groups at this point or what? Because I do not fucking understand. So there's still tech. I'll have to actually check the fucking stuff. And I keep on forgetting stuff, to be honest. Naval formation now removes primitive flag. Native formation removes the primitive flag. Shows priority work will now requires 10 war score from battles instead of 80% of battles won. Okay, that is quite decent. Nice bonifiers. You'll hardly get 80% of the battles won, so it was quite annoying to get the tick war score. Score is now modified by 50% to minus 25%, blah blah, depending on the difficulty selected. Oh, score, not war score, goddammit. So does not matter. Increased development in a province now. Increased institution spread in spread of the earliest possible. Also, I build development. I might get the faster institution. So another motive to actually build tall nations. This is quite decent. It's another motive to actually build tall. Although building tall requires you to be tall already, so it's hard to pull off. Maybe as France, perhaps, to build tall. Yeah, usually France has the nice shit and they can build tall, but I guess England to some degree, but there are within marches there. Spain has like mountains, hills, desert, or whatever there, so that's not good as well. Maybe to some degree in Italy that you can build tall as well, but only France can build tall to any degree, simply because they have the best lands to actually build tall, and they are already quite tall. So yeah, increasing institution spread by increased development on the amount of development in provinces with development. 20 giving 5 and developing 2 gives giving 0.5. So again, with development is tied with this one, to increase development. So it actually gives you the modifiers for increased development. There's now an increase in efficiency of embargoes for nations scaled by merc up to 50%, so it's mercantilism. Again, more modifiers for mercantilism, which are quite good. Ships now engage in priority order from heavy galleys, light and to transport, up to a maximum of the engagement width, for which the heavies count as 3 rather than 1. So basically this means that you can actually heavies are not great anymore, because they count as 3, and they might not be as good as 3 galleys if you actually put them together. May have better firepower. They should actually balance the costs of heavies as well, if they actually make them as 3 here, because they cost more, they don't have the same count. So that means that you have less heavies, which means that they will take more damage from galleys, for example, because they're 1, which is quite annoying. So this is quite a hard balancing and testing done to it, because it's really gonna fuck up England, for example, because they have a huge amount of navies. Although I guess it's some good modifiers with the fact that it's only 1 naval force limit and not 3 naval force limit, but in combat it's really gonna be bad to have that many heavies, because up to this point, if I wanted a huge navy, a good navy, I'll just build 10 heavies. Just build 10 heavies, even if I had 12, 15 force limit. Just if I had a cash, just build 10 heavies. Nobody will stop me in a war. I will just wreck them. 10, 15 heavies. 15 heavies at Muscovy, kill everything in your sight. Like, just take 1 entries to the Baltic Sea, have the standard, then just build heavies, and everybody will die. You know? But yeah, again, it's a nerf, but again, should be quite a heavy one on heavies. Attrition loss for a given level of attrition is now proportional to the strength of the unit, whereas previously it was proportional to the maximum possible strength of the unit, thus invariant. So yeah, attrition loss. I really don't care about attrition that much, to be honest. How do I understand this shit? I guess it's less attrition overall, so it's good. Relieving a siege now makes the siege force the attacker in combat. This is huge. This is goddamn huge. This means that you can actually start building on mountains. Beforehand, I would actually avoid building in mountains, because dislodging that siege with armies would actually force me to fight in mountains as the attacker, which would actually force me to get the -2 modifiers, -2 take modifier, which is fucking huge. I would just have to be forced to build in plains or anything that actually can just where they were no defensive bonuses. Now it's good if you actually build the nations that have that has tons of rivers in it, that has mountains. Again, this is an important balance to the game. Quite important. Now forts are actually good. Beforehand, forts were not that great, to be honest. If you want to dislodge attacks from there, it would be quite hard for you. Now it's quite easy to dislodge attacks. They're gonna have the minus modifier if you build them in the right place. Again, good job, Paradox. I really like this. I really like this. This is on par with the Prussian modifier, with the Prussian government form. It's quite good. Like it just remakes the whole combat scheme for me. All the whole defense combat, the whole defense scheme, not defense combat. If you have a port now, you get at least 5 sailors per month. This is quite a good balance, because sometimes you actually won't get enough sailors per month. Rework foreign spy detection and counter-espionage. Counter-espionage has less impact on discovery, but now impacts the spy network build-up of the target in your nation. Oh, this is quite complicated. So yeah, less impact on the discovery, but it lowers the build-up of the enemy spy network. So it lowers the speed of the build-up. So it's actually a little bit better now. You know, less impact on discovery, but it will. So basically, instead of being random stuff, it's actually constant. So you have a constant reduce in supply network build-up. So it's quite good. Parliament issue nationwide census now increases the manpower in a province instead of tax. So any modification will still for Parliament. Nationwide land survey increases the production in a province instead of the tax. Large colonizations now give you +5 land force limit each. I think that large colonization should give you more than 5 land force limit. Should give you... I don't think they give you. Still, they should give you land and naval, to be honest, and more of it. And when you actually build them, they should give you +5. Again, balancing stuff. Colonial nations only lose half the money the overlord is getting in tariffs. Again, I think you get less cash at this point. Oh no, you just have the cash, so they would have to pay you that cash even if they had to go on minus. I guess that would be quite problematic, so it will allow you the colonial nations to actually survive to some degree. When you change your religion as a monastic order, devotion is now decreased to the resulting religious unity if it's lower than the current devotion. Yeah, actually, this is actually quite good for Prussia. Although, if you're really smart, you'll actually switch to Teutonic order. Sorry, when you actually want to switch, you'll switch from monastic order to a monarchy quite sooner. To be honest, by just tanking your devotion to like lower than 20 or something like that, and you can actually switch. But again, it's decent for Livonian order, I guess, or the knights. Although the knights going to, although you can actually change switch to something else, so you can actually switch to being minus Sunni, perhaps. So yeah, it's decent. It's a balancing stuff, quite good. Reduce cost of docks and dry docks, excellent. These were quite annoying, to be honest, to the point where you wouldn't want to actually build them. Patriarch authority no longer reduces tax. Again, a boost to actually Orthodox, to be honest. It's still an annoying slider that has to have events, but again, with no tax income reduction, it's possible for you to just remain Orthodox, because it's gonna give you overall decent boosts, especially the the plus 2%. Goddammit, the plus 2% religion conversion, which is, to be honest, quite decent, especially when you have to fight against the Sunnis. Breaking vassallage, the vassal that has over 50 liberties there no longer gives a relation penalty. Again, this is quite decent if you actually want to get rid of some annoying guy. Prussian ambition, discipline have been nerfed from 7.5 to 5%. I don't like this to any degree, but you have the ones from the events, from the militarization, so it's quite a good nerf. It's a acceptable nerf, because again, I'm disciplined in another category, so it's good. Prussia now gets Prussian monarchy when forming, so we know this. Heir chance modifier no longer affects the life expectancy of your heir. Oh, that was really it did this shit. Oh, that was bad, man. That was really bad. Like affecting life expectancy of your heir. So your heir would actually outlive you if you had the modifiers. Oh, that would have been really crap. Like for example, you would have had a 60-year-old, let's say 60-year-old ruler, and your heir would have been let's say 56 if you're lucky, if you're unlucky, and he would actually die. That would have been quite problematic. This is a good balancing stuff. Old countries should now have access to at least one skill to advisor at start. I do not like this, simply because you actually get one. You can get one from the states, and it's quite problematic simply because the 2 advisor cost you what, 4 ducats per month. Who has actually 4 ducats to pay for an advisor, which means that you actually will have one less advisor overall. This is a bad paradox. Bad paradox. The HRE can form Prussia. Oh my god, the HRE could form Prussia? God damn it. slight changes in how aggressive expansion is calculated. I like this. I hope it's in the player's favor and not the AI's and not the game's favor, basically. Because if it's in the game's favor, it's gonna be really bad for us. Because it's gonna really kill your expansion. Reduce the unrest and republican tradition impact from Soviet context per action. So nerf to the spy stuff, to spying, so to PvP to some degree. Increase liberty desire from tariffs up to 50%, liberty desire to 100% tariffs. And this is gonna be lowered though by some other stuff as well, so I don't know the form more differs, but I guess it's decent. Penalty for not occupying forts in an area would no longer apply if the enemy does not control any forts in the area. This is fucking great. So that means that if there are no surrounding forts, there's no adjacent fort in the area as in the area, or in the area as in the... See, this is not specific enough. You're telling me the area as in the province area, basically as the province of the area of Paris, or the area of Wallachia, for example. So the provinces of what was it, Oltenia, Muntenia, and Brasov. Or the area, you mean by that the provinces that are actually nearby that fort. This is some testing, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure myself. It's not descriptive enough. It needs to be descriptive because area has two meanings here in the game in EU4. Decisions to become merchant republic now require to have 20 or fewer provinces in states. Okay, so this is quite good. So they do not count territories. Again, this is quite a good balancing. All subjects now get reduced AE from your actions, not just vassals and marches. So again, this is good. If you have France under PU as England, they'll not get a lot of AE for you just taking lands from Castile, for example. So this is quite good. Even if you actually fed the lands to him, right? So if he's gonna get... although you don't want to actually feed France, that would be really quite bad for you. Embracing an institution no longer adds it to every province. Well, I haven't played with the institution, so I don't know what was the previous one. So royal badges now have a 50% chance of getting a queen, and the newborn heir is one hand with heir is 100% chance of getting a local noble as a queen. Okay, so it's something with the queens. Oh, for the region, it does actually say it, or does it say it? It doesn't say it. Yeah, you actually do this and you don't say the stuff about the queens. So now we don't have regency, I think. We actually have a queen, so when there's a regency, you have a queen, and you can still declare war if I'm not mistaken. Okay, new stuff like I spent on the Big Blue Blob campaign. I had a regency, a huge regency as well. And in the Irish no-name Irish campaign had a regency as well. So basically I spent around 14 years on both of them, which is quite a huge time to spend with not being able to declare wars, especially in the early game when you should expand. You're just standing there and everybody expanding. Colonization missions should not trigger for Catholics. Colonization missions should now not trigger for Catholics for regions already granted to someone else by the Pope. Oh, okay, that is nice. I might actually have problems, although I haven't encountered this because once I actually start colonizing, I am a madman and I start killing everybody, and I just focus on taking the lands that they want, so that they won't actually get the Treaty of Tortillas, the Treaty of Tortillas. Right, so I just focused them down so they won't actually get the colony in that province here. Colonies that are now working in occupied provinces will now get sent home. This is quite bad, to be honest. It was a nice exploit. I used it several times. Again, Privy Council Establishment Act and the Mercenary Registration Act now uses military power instead of admin. This is for... I have no idea. Oh right, for the... what's it called? For the policies. This is decent, I guess, for the policies. Again, military power. Late game, you won't actually need that much military power. Change a few policies to reduce corruption or increase institution spread. So, because of the tech stuff. Boosted the following policies: the Recruiting Act, the Foreign Support Act, the Unified Army Command, Letters of Marque, the Wound on Wall, quite a lot of them. The Military Siege Act now gives you 10% siege ability and 5% morale instead of 10% morale. Okay. I should actually check this inside the game. And again, I don't have the data updated. That's bad. Muslims that have converted to another religion group will now lose ICTA and or Ottoman government. Ooh, that means that you actually lose if you actually switch from Ottomans to Orthodoxy. That's actually quite. Wait, you wouldn't lose ICTA if you actually switch to Orthodox? That was quite a bug, man, to not lose ICTA if you actually switch. Oh, it's ICTA, it's not a... sorry, my bad. ICTA was the government form, not the... I thought it was the... what's it called? The state. My bad. Ottoman mission for conquering the Levant now includes inland Syrian provinces. Okay, good. Okay, AI. I'll just go for the AI visually. Oh, there are too many, so... yeah, there are plenty of them, so I'm not gonna actually... yeah, the interface, I don't care about this one. I'll just go for the AI stuff really quick. Just to... if you want, you can actually leave right at this point. Like, I'll say my goodbyes now. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you next time. And I'll simply go for the AI in the rest of the video, because this is quite long. Yeah, this is quite a long 46 minutes. I tend to talk a lot. So this is decent as well. This is decent. Okay, this is quite good as well. I had bugs regarding this stuff. Okay, this is decent as well. Sending loans. So AI now sends loans instead of sending them gifts. Do not care about this. Okay, this is good. Okay, this is good as well. Okay, this is decent. Yeah, overall these are... okay, yeah, overall these are all decent. There's no reason for me to talk about them. The video is quite long already, so it will again take too much time. But yeah, I hope to actually learn some stuff from this and actually know how to use them. You can actually check the wiki for more of this stuff, especially on technology, and you can actually check the developer diaries if you want to know more about the process of doing this, as well as some more Paradox stuff on their channel from the Paradox Extra or the Paradox Interactive channel as well. I'm Chevalier, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, you can actually check out my channel, subscribe or like, it's up to you. I provide content daily, so you'll have something to see on my channel. And I bid you farewell, and see you next time, guys. Ciao.